Hello everyone. So in this session we are going to discuss about Linux, the key characteristics, then culture of free software, choosing a Linux system, then well-known Linux distributions, and what are the training and certifications that you can do to have the global certifications. So let's understand. So Linux is a free operating system that was created by Linus Torvalds when he was a student at the University of Helsinki in 1991. Torvalds started Linux by writing a kernel, the heart of the operating system, partly from scratch and partly by using publicly available softwares. Torvalds then released the system to his friends and to a community of hackers on the internet, and he asked them to fix it, to work with it and enhance it. Today there are thousands of software developers around the world contributing software to the open source community that feeds the Linux operating system initiative. So because the source code for this software is freely available, anyone can work on it, change it or enhance it, and developers are encouraged to pass their fixes and improvements back into the community so that Linux can continue to grow and improve. So this is how the Linux came into the existence. Next, we are going to understand the key characteristics of Linux, like what features it is having. So no matter what version of Linux you use, the piece of code common to all is a Linux kernel. Kernel is a main program which drives the Linux operating system. And every Linux kernel can offer the following features. So multi-user. Not only can you have many user accounts available on Linux systems, but you can also have multiple users logged in and working on the system at the same time. Then the next feature is multitasking. In Linux, it is possible to have many programs running at the same time, which means that not only can you have many programs going at once, but that the Linux operating system can itself have programs running in the background. Many of these system processes make it possible for Linux to work as a server. Like if you are running the MySQL service, it is acting as a database server. The next important feature is like having graphical user interface, which is also referred to X window system. The powerful framework for working with graphical applications in Linux is referred to as X window system or simply X. X handles the functions of opening X-based graphical user interface, that is GUI applications. The next important characteristics is hardware support. So you can configure support for almost every type of hardware that can be connected to a computer. There is support for floppy disk drives, CD-ROMs, removable disks such as DVDs and pen drives, sound cards, tape devices, video cards, and most anything else you can think of. So most hardware manufacturers don't provide Linux drivers with their peripherals device and adapter cards, although most popular hardware will be supported eventually in Linux. Next feature is networking connectivity. So to connect your Linux system to a network, Linux offers support for variety of local area network LAN cards and serial devices. In addition to LAN protocols such as Ethernet, both wired and wireless, all the most popular upper level networking protocols can be built in. So here is also the support available for networking. The next, network servers. Providing networking services to the client computers on the LAN or to the entire internet is what Linux does best. A variety of software packages are available that enable you to use Linux as an FTP server or mail server, web server or database server or DNS server. So you can configure Linux as a server for many of different functions and services. When coming to the application support, because of compatibility with POSIX, which is Portable Operating System Interface for Unix standard, POSIX is a computer industry operating system standard that every major version of Unix compiled with, and several different application programming interfaces, that is APIs. So a wide range of freeware and shareware software is available for Linux. So you can deploy applications built in Java, PHP, or any such languages. You can run the scripts, Python scripts, Perl scripts, or maybe shell script in Linux. So this is how we understood like what are the key characteristics are there for Linux. Let's move to the next topic. Let's understand what is the culture of free software. When we say Linux is a free operating system, it is an open source operating system. So the copyright for a Fedora or Red Hat Enterprise Linux system is covered under the GNU Public License, which is GPL. That license, which most free software falls under, provides the following. The first is author rights. So when we are saying author rights, the original author retains the rights to his or her software. The next is free distribution. People can use the GNU software in their own software, changing and redistributing it as they do, however, have to include the source code with their distributions or make it easily available on the internet. The next is copyright maintained. So even if you were to repackage and resell the software, the original GNU agreement must be maintained with the software. This means that all future recipients of the software must have the opportunity to change the source code just as you did. So this particular GNU public license provides a provision so that you can modify the software, you can redistribute the software, you can maintain it with your rights, but again you have to follow the clauses like author rights, pre-distributions, and copyright maintained whenever you are publishing the software under GPL. It is important to remember that there is no warranty on GNU software. If something goes wrong, the original developer of the software has no obligation to fix the problem. However, the Linux culture has provided resources for that event. Experts on the internet can help you iron out your problem, or you can access one of the many Linux news groups or forums to read how others have dealt with their problems. So this is how you can work within this culture. It's a free software foundation that continuously delivering or creating the various softwares which are integrated into the Linux system. Let's move to the next topic. So now it's important that how to choose a Linux system. Like there are many Linux distributions are available in the market, and this particular OS is having the features or the functionalities which may be required for your need. So let's understand this. A Linux distribution, often called distro for short, is a member of the family of Unix-like operating system built on top of the Linux kernel. Such distributions are operating systems including a large collection of softwares, including applications such as administration tool, networking services, utilities, and various applications. These operating systems consist of the Linux kernel and usually a set of libraries and utilities from the GNU project, with graphics support from the X Windows system. So this is how you are going to choose one of the Linux operating system from the available Linux distro in the market. So there are many that we are going to discuss in the next session. Let's move to the next session. So well-known Linux distribution in the market. So Rocky Linux is an open source enterprise operating system designed to be 100% bug compatible with Red Hat Enterprise Linux. It is under intensive development by the community. Next is Ubuntu. So Rocky Linux is one of the OS which is compatible, with the Red Hat Enterprise Linux that you can use for your production servers or in your any environment in your company. Ubuntu, a popular desktop and server distribution derived from Debian, maintained by British company Canonical Limited. So this is one of the operating system mostly popular at the desktop level, and you can use this OS for running the multiple application. If you have a requirement where you need to configure Linux OS for the end user perspective, that you can use. A backtrack Based on the Ubuntu operating system used for digital forensics and penetration testing, it is now, you know, uh, continued with the Kali Linux, and this OS is mostly used for the digital forensic and penetration testing. So Backtrack is now discontinued and the Kali Linux is in the market. There is Fedora, a community distribution sponsored by American company Red Hat. Then there is the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, which is a derivative of Fedora, maintained and commercially supported by Red Hat company. So this is one of the operating system widely used in the industry, and this particular OS is commercially supported by the Red Hat. So you can have the support subscription from the Red Hat, and if any issues come or any kind of support required, you can raise a ticket or case to the Red Hat, and their engineers can help iron out the problem which you're facing in your operating system. The next popular is CentOS, a distribution derived from the same sources used by Red Hat, maintained by a dedicated volunteer community of developers with both 100% Red Hat compatible versions. So CentOS is one of the free version of again Red Hat operating system that you can use, but now CentOS is going to be like, in the development version. So CentOS Stream has come into the market, which may be not a stable OS, and as a replacement you can use the Rocky Linux for your production environment or maybe development environment or your uh, you know IT infrastructure environment to set up the servers. The next is Oracle Enterprise Linux, which is a derivative of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, maintained and commercially supported by Oracle. So if you are having a specific need of the OS from the Oracle, if you have Oracle databases and the clusters maintained for the Oracle databases, then you can have the Oracle Enterprise Linux for that infrastructure. The next OS is OpenSUSE. So a community distribution mainly sponsored by German company SUSE. It's again a popular OS, and you can use it for production environment in your company. The next is SUSE Enterprise Linux, which is derived from OpenSUSE, maintained and commercially supported by SUSE company. So we have seen there are three OSs which are commercially supported by like Red Hat, Oracle and SUSE that we can use for our infrastructure. If you want to go completely free version of Linux OSs, then you can definitely use the Rocky Linux, which is the best choice for server right now, and the Ubuntu, which is for the desktop. Moving to the next section, we are going to understand what are the trainings and certifications are available which are popular, and probably you can do that to boost your career, which will give you the global certification label as well. So Red Hat Enterprise Linux certifications, Red Hat Certified System Administrator, which is one of the popular certification for Linux in the market. The next is RHCE, which is Red Hat Certified Engineer. Then Novell SUSE Linux certification is available. That is Novell Certified Linux Professional. That also you can acquire if you want to pursue any certification in Linux. The next is Oracle Linux certifications. Oracle Certified Professional, Oracle Linux 8 System Administrator, which is again a popular certification available in the market that you can acquire. So this way we understood like how Linux is structured, and this free operating system is widely used in the industry to deploy the various servers for different functions that are needed in the industry. Thank you very much. We will see you again in the next session. Thanks a lot.